Hi everyone and welcome. This is Mark Dickinson from Gulf Business Academy, and we're really excited today to welcome Anthony Ross, the CEO of JA Hotels. And we're going to be talking about the future and what comes after the crisis. So Anthony, first of all, thank you for being with us.
Pleasure, Mark. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And Anthony, could you just tell us a little bit about JA Hotels and what the business is and what you actually do?
So JA Resorts and Hotels is a company based in Dubai. We started in 1981, so we are the original Dubai-based resort and hotel company. We have 9 hotels. We have one in the Maldives, a beautiful resort in the Maldives, beautiful resort in the Seychelles, and we have 7 properties in Dubai. We have 2 in JBR. We have 3 at our beautiful resort in Jebel Ali. We have Hatta, and we have our latest baby, the Manor by JA in Al Fajjan.
Brilliant. Well, I've been privileged to visit all of your properties except Maldives and Seychelles, and I hope that I'll get to
Well,
do
let's
that.
work on that.
So when did you begin in this business, you personally? When did you actually start in hotels?
I started in last century, 1981, I think it was. After I left school, I started off, I went to university and started off doing accounting, and quickly worked out that wasn't for me. Went to hotel school after that, and I've kind of been in it since then.
And what was the spark that you said, this is what I want to do, and this is, all consuming?
Well, a couple of things. My family was somewhat involved in the hotel business in a kind of in a country inn in Victoria, Australia. So that was part of it. The other part of it was international hotels were just coming into Australia, and I thought it was a very glamorous industry at the time. Little did I know. And I thought it was something that was would enable me to be a very international person, have an international career, and that has proven to be the case. So probably those things.
Brilliant. Anthony, this business, as you said, glamorous. There are always very special moments in this industry that stick with you, that stand out. What's a standout greatest moment for you?
I don't think it's an individual moment, but I can say, some of the memorable teams that I've been involved in, some of the memorable processes have been openings of hotels. And I think you always have a special bond with teams of people that you've opened hotels with. For some reason, I guess as you get older, you learn more, and it becomes, I won't say easy because it's never easy, but you're able to foresee, what things are going to work and what things are not going to work. But, I've opened a lot of hotels over my career. I think the first one that I did was Pan Pacific Gold Coast in Australia. Wow. And, and that was in 1989. So still in contact with a lot of those folks, deep relationships formed, and it was such a fantastic thing to go through, working onto a building site and then being involved with getting the hotel open. And over the years of opening a number of hotels, you still have that bond with those people that you've opened hotels with.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very special.
Yeah. And I guess for me, actually, probably the most special and being a little bit selfish about it is a little hotel that I developed with a business partner and owned and managed myself in Queenstown, New Zealand. That probably is high up there on the list as well.
How many rooms was that?
It was only 9 villas.
Oh wow! Nice.
But very upmarket. Average rate over $1,000.
Beautiful.
Our first guest was Ralph Lauren.
Oh wow!
And his family, and that was pretty satisfying.
So, I've been around the industry for 30 years or so, and I always think that those moments influence how we manage our people. What influence do those great moments have on the way you deal with the people that you work with on a regular basis?
Well, I take my inspiration in dealing with people from the fact that I've done all the jobs. I've been actually my first job in the industry was a room attendant at Regent Melbourne.
Wow.
Regent Melbourne Hotel.
Excellent.
We used to come in and work 5 hours in the evening, do 50 turn downs, and 2 or 3 vacant, dirty rooms. You know, it wasn't a full shift of cleaning rooms, but you know, you get an understanding of how hard people work. The people that come into our industry, frankly, in the lowest paying jobs, and that is their life. You understand how hard they work. And, you know, I've been a receptionist, I've been a waiter, I've been a busboy in a nightclub, which was a horrible experience. You know, and I think that would be my advice for young people getting into the industry is do as much as you can, experience as many of the jobs as you can so that you can walk in somebody else's shoes when you're leading them, when you're choosing people to work, to open hotels or to work in hotels. It helps you choose the right people, helps you choose people that can work together. And when you're leading them, you kind of get an understanding of how you can motivate them, how far you can push them, and how you can pull them into better, higher performance.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing.
That's awesome. Pleasure.
Okay, so we're in a crisis, but it's going to end. What's your vision post-crisis? Global picture.
Well, listen, I don't think anybody has all the magic answers because as it stands today, we don't know exactly when or how it's going to end. But we've been having a lot of discussions internally, and I think the world is definitely going to be different after this. Travel is going to be different after this. I even heard Bill Gates talking the other day. Maybe he has a little bit of a vested interest, I don't know. He said he's getting used to working on this product called Teams, which is a Microsoft product. But we're doing the same thing. So first of all, you know, what role do offices play?
Correct.
Physical offices play in the future? And we're finding actually we can work really effectively together on Teams. So maybe we don't have an office. You know, we have a central support office at the moment. Maybe we don't have that. Maybe we just have a place where we meet face to face. And maybe we do work remotely. That's the first thing. How that impacts our business, I think, you know, other companies are going to be having similar thoughts. Is it going to be necessary to have big global conferences or regional conferences, or can more be done remotely? And so that then calls into question how we're setting up our meeting rooms, what kind of facilities and technology we're putting into our meeting spaces. And then the second thing is, you know, at the end of the day, at the heart of the matter, we're a resort company. So we rely on people coming to our locations for holidays. You know, I think money is going to be something that is going to be top of mind going forward. People, I think, are going to take stock of their savings or lack thereof and saying to themselves, you know, can we afford to be going on holiday so long, so often? Are we going to have to look at the destinations and make a value judgment? You know, I think Dubai, where we have the majority of our properties, you know, we have to make sure that we're able to provide great value for money, and therefore we have to be looking at efficiencies, we have to be looking at our product offerings, and we have to be saying to ourselves, we compete in a global marketplace for travellers, and there's lots of other options out there, so we have to be really good at what we do, and we have to provide things at a very value for money basis. So, you know, we have to be looking at all of our costs, and we have to be making sure that we're able to break even, frankly, at a much lower average rate. I think that's really important. The other thing that I think is very important is our use of technology. As I said earlier on, in facilitating meetings internally and with companies that we work with, but also from a training perspective. You know, I think you may remember there was the CEO of SAS Airlines, Jan Carlson, wrote a book called Moments of Truth.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been thinking about it over the last week. You know, the people in our industry that we pay the least have the most power to make or break the reputation of our business.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I think, you know, we've invested recently in a training program that's, you know, really going to help us work along the process of empowering those people to make the best decisions in favour of the guest at all times.
Right. You see the responsibility of the customer experience heavily in the hands of those frontline people.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And our role as management and leaders is to support them in delivering the experience. And each and every time they interact with a guest, they're holding the fate, frankly, of our business in their hands.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Where will be the new role of the strategic thinkers? Do we need the current structure where we have these high executives and then we have frontline people and the whole management structure, or is that going to change? What's your initial thought? I mean, no one has the answer, I know.
Well, Mark, you know what, I think it depends on the size of the company. But for our company, we're a small hotel company at the moment. And we need to get far more into the trenches. We need to be beside our people, showing them how it's done, you know, rewarding, supporting good behaviour, good customer contact, coaching where necessary, and making sure that we have the right people in the right positions. You know, I think we basically have a really, really good team of people.
Yeah.
But like any organisation, you know, some of them are not correctly positioned. And we have to, as a senior leadership, be involved in making sure we have the right people in the right position. They have the tools to do their job, they have the knowledge to do the job, and they have the authority to make decisions that are going to be in favour of the guest.
So do you see that empowerment is going to accelerate and responsibility will go further down the line?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and how will your role change in terms of being the CEO? Would you see a high level of engagement in operations, or you would see more of a strategic role? How do you think that was going to work out after this?
I think I have to be more involved with our general managers, with our management teams, and with our staff. We have been putting a fair amount of effort into growing our business by acquisitions, by either acquiring hotels or acquiring management contracts. And I think when we reopen our hotels, we're going to be in more or less a rebuilding phase. I call it, we're basically going to be reopening our hotels. It's like opening new hotels.
Well, I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, everyone's had their slate wiped clean, as it were. I mean, you get to basically rebuild your business however you would like to do it. I mean, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. You've got the assets, you've got the properties, you've got the intellect. Where do you take it? This is golden opportunity.
Absolutely. The first thing is, you know, we've got to decide what it is we want to be, and we know that. Right. You know, we're a resort company that provides experiences that thrill all generations. That's where we see ourselves, that's where we see our space, and if we're able to grow sometime in the future, we want to grow by creating resorts with that in mind. We've got to make sure that we have the people with, as I said, you know, the right skills, the right motivation, the right knowledge, the right tools in order to deliver those experiences to our guests.
Brilliant. And what do you think will be the biggest change in customer behavior?
Well, I mean, I think everybody's going to be more conscious of hygiene.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be more conscious of where they're spending their money, getting value for money. I think potentially people are going to be, you know, maybe they're not going for 12 and 14 days, maybe they're going for 7 and 9 days. But I think they're going to want to take more out of a shorter amount of time. So it's just that much more important that we are really on our game.
So which values do you see as what I call risers, rising values? Which values become really important?
Family time.
You know,
people, I think there is going to be a collective hug at the end of this.
Right.
I think people are, being kept apart. And so when people have the opportunity to travel again, I think it's going to be a tentative process. As I've spoken to our senior team leaders and our shareholders as well, I think people are not going to be so keen to get quickly onto aeroplanes again.
Right.
It's going to be tentative, it's going to be slow, but people are going to want to come together. Multi-generational travel, people are going to want to spend time with their parents and with their kids together.
Sure.
I think it was a growing trend before this, and I think that's going to accelerate. But I think they're going to want to take more out of a shorter period of time. So we've got to be really on our game in terms of delivering experiences that are memorable. Because maybe people won't be taking 2 or 3 or 4 holidays a year.
Right.
Maybe they'll be taking 1,
Right.
but it's got to be a good one.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And do you think there are any, values that, we got all hyped up about something, and do you think that's going to disappear? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, I mean, listen, reading things, I think, we've become very enthralled with consumerism, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens after, all the shops in Dubai are closed. You look at New York City, all the shops are closed. It's going to be interesting to see how people rebound when they realise that actually life's not so bad when those things get taken away. Also, people, I know from my personal perspective, my wife and I are fortunate enough to live in JA Oasis Beach Tower here, where we're doing this interview, and we haven't really cooked for the last 2.5 years. We walk to one of the local restaurants, or we have room service, but we're enjoying cooking again.
Nice. What do you like to cook?
Well, I love pasta. I love Thai.
Okay.
So we try and eat healthy. But what impact is that going to have on restaurants? Forcing people to go back and learn how.
So maybe you're going to send people, a kit of food for them to do their home cooking, and you prepare everything in advance. Maybe this is
possibly
the new opportunity.
Absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, Mark, we're just in the process. Not great timing, but we're just in the process of opening a new villa complex in the Seychelles. So we have our JA Enchanted Island.
Right.
We're opening now a 10 villa hotel on the main island of Mahe. So these are 356 square metre villas, 3-bedroom villas, beautiful villas on the water. And that's one of the things we're looking at doing. So these are villas we think are going to be really nice for multi-generational travel.
Okay.
And we're proposing to put into the villas, you choose in advance what meals you'd like to cook. Okay. And we'll buy all the ingredients and put it in the villa for you.
Wow, brilliant. So I'm on the right track.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to wrap this up. I was standing on the balcony in Dubai on the first day when there was this gratitude to the doctors and the medics. And, we're absolutely grateful to all those people. And the sound was so inspiring and so emotional. And I just thought, man, what is going to happen the day that a cure is found, or that people can sense that this thing is moving over and we're going into a new step? What's going to happen? What's the euphoric bounce? What do you think is going to happen at that moment? Is it going to be a party? What's going to happen? Just as a fun thought.
Yeah, I think people are going to come together. And, there's kind of we're trying to stay positive.
Yeah.
We're trying to think about how we're going to exit this thing. And I think it's going to be slow because there's no cure just yet.
Right.
For various reasons that we've already talked about. But I think once there is a vaccine and this thing is over, I think people are physically going to come together. I think there's going to be big hugs. I think there's going to be a big party. I know in my management team, I can sense it. I can sense that there's a little bit of stress over everybody. There's a little bit of sadness that we've had to close our beautiful hotels, and a little bit of uncertainty. But I think once this thing is over, there is going to be a sense of euphoria, and I think it is going to involve partying. And I think it's going to potentially involve travel for some people, and I think it's going to be a fantastic thing. A little bit like the scenes that you see from documentaries of VE Day.
Yeah, right.
You know, at the end of World War II.
Right.
And this, you know, it is really a war, isn't it?
It is.
It is. And so I think there's definitely going to be a sense of euphoria. You've seen people hugging in the streets in those documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to be something like that.
Amazing. Anthony, I am privileged to have been in your properties. I'm privileged to have stayed in your properties, and really you have an amazing organization. I really appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot to do. Thank you for this.
My pleasure.
And hopefully this will inspire many other people to think forward, to figure out their own path, and to make a great and amazing change. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of Golf Business Academy. And we'll share with you another amazing CEO experience tomorrow. Keep it tuned here. Thanks.